guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Hyundai Venue Petrol, the turbo petrol, but this one is a manual. Let's quickly open the engine bay. That is the engine bay. It says turbo GDI. No insulation here because the motor itself, in spite of being a 3-cylinder, is very refined. And as you can see, the design is actually quite nice, looks fresh, mini Creta from certain angles, LED DRL, projector setup, fog light, and that is for the indicator. Yes, definitely the Venue is actually a very small looking car because it's sub 4 meter, but compared to its competition it kind of looks too small, but it's still 4 meters, so I don't know how that works. But as you can see, the wheels look nice, diamond cut wheels, 16 inches. Some of the rivals actually come with 17 inches. The rear light also looks nice. Turbo written here to tell you that this is no joke, it's going to fly. But will it? Well, honestly, I'm going to keep that suspense alive for the bit. Let's open the boot. Boot is actually decent size, but the loading lip is a bit high. The spare wheel obviously isn't an alloy. It is a 195/65/15. Meanwhile, the car is actually running on 16 inches, which happens to be 215/60/16s. And yes, chrome door handles, roof rails, shark fin antenna, everything actually looks quite nice. Let's quickly open the door and let's have a look at the rear seat. Now, in terms of rear seat space, it is not the best and it doesn't get a center headrest, but it does get a center armrest, which is a nice touch. The car is not as spacious as some of its rivals. Meanwhile, you get rear AC vents as well. But you know what? The good thing about the Venue is the connected car features. It gets plenty of connected car features, which is a nice touch and great quality as well. In fact, it also gets a map here, navigation and whatnot systems are present here. So let's quickly get into an audio right away. Audio quality is really very nice. Quality levels are great inside this cabin. Plenty of features. There's a wireless charger here, and this air purifier is also a nice touch. Thankfully, this one is not broken right now. There's space to keep stuff. In fact, I've reviewed the Venue in detail earlier. All you have to do is click here. Let's get driving right away. Alright, we are all set to go, which means first and foremost I need to turn off the air conditioning. Yes, air conditioning has been turned off. Traction control has been turned off. Into first gear and revving the motor. Rev still 5000 RPM and as you can see, the performance from this engine is quite nice. It's very tall geared and reaches 100 kilometers per hour in almost second gear. So performance is actually great, but is it? Well, there is turbo lag lower down, but there's no kick in the pants feel once the mid-range kicks in and the turbo spools up because everything is so linear in this vehicle. But performance is good enough for this car to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 10 seconds. And as you saw, yes, the motor does sound nice as you get into the top end, and in the top end also there's all of a sudden some josh which comes in, pulls from 5000 RPM all the way to almost 6800 RPM where it red lines. Now this is a 1 liter motor. It's a 3-cylinder unit. It's a GDI motor, which stands for gasoline direct injection because it gets direct injection, and it's also turbocharged. And overall performance is really nice in this vehicle because there's good amount of smoothness on offer. You can't feel that this is a 3-cylinder engine. That is the level of smoothness on offer. Even lower down you can barely hear the car. In fact, when the car is idling, you can't make out if the engine is even running, let alone figure out that this is a 3-cylinder unit on offer here. Yeah, it revs faster from 5000 RPM all the way till 6700 RPM. That is the way the power is actually delivered. Now, this 1 liter GDI motor actually produces 120 horsepower and 172 Newton meters of torque. So yes, there's good amount of thrust because the motor is quite powerful, and I definitely like the fact that it's extremely refined. Pulling power could have been better because the gearing is really on the taller side. Now the gearing is on the taller side because I think Hyundai has done it in the interest of fuel economy, or probably they have done it because they really did not want to tune the gearbox as such. So they were like, okay, let it be. Let's just use the gearbox as it is. That's why the gearing is so tall that it reaches 150 kilometers per hour in third gear itself. It reminds me of the original Maruti ST and Baleno. The latter is of course Motorbeam's project car, so I can tell you that they are so tall geared in the interest of fuel economy. They just keep revving and revving and revving in each gear, pulling hard and fast, but pulling power is blunted. Now right now let's get into 6th gear. Okay, this is a 6-speed gearbox. Now in 6th gear, it's doing 80 kilometers per hour, around 1500 RPM on the tachometer. As soon as I bury my right foot, there's no progress. There's no progress because of two reasons. One is of course the tall gearing, and the other reason is the fact that there is just a lot of low end lag here. Turbo spools in around 2000 rpm. Come on. Nah, no, it's not happening. So you really have to downshift the motor. Now I get it into third gear, and there it starts pulling in third gear, because obviously, like I told you, gearing is really very, very tall and you have to work the gearbox. Thankfully the gearbox is smooth. It is extremely smooth shifting. The clutch is also on the lighter side, and although this car has traction control, which I have turned off at the moment, there is no wheel slip at all, no matter how hard you rev the motor, because there's good amount of grip on offer, and just it doesn't have a kick in the pants feel which will scare you silly. Power delivery is supremely linear. Everything is so smooth, so refined, and definitely this car is not about putting your pants on fire. Although putting on pants on fire, why would you want to do that? Oh my god, look at that. Oh my god, that's a Wrangler. Just went by. That's a Wrangler. Wrangler को कैसे पकड़ लेंगे यार? जीप है वो यार.
सेकंड टाइम जा रही है या तो लोग टेस्ट कर रहे हैं.
अरे मल्टीपल गाड़ियाँ होंगी तो पूरी कैमोफ्लाज करके ना.
चलो.
अरे सेकंड गियर में भी डाल दे तो कुछ होने नहीं वाला.
चलो.
Even though this is the most powerful of the venues, the turbo petrol manual, it simply cannot keep up with bigger cars, not even with the Ford EcoSport, because the Ford EcoSport has a soul. Not only does it handle better, the EcoBoost engine is also better because it has more thrust, and the torque spread is just wider, giving it more oomph and obviously a little bit of kick in the pants feel as well. Little bit of wheel spin on offer, and as you can see, this motor does get vocal in a good way in the higher revs. Now talking about the suspension system, it is on the stiffer side. There is no denying the fact. It feels quite stiff, which is actually a good thing because Hyundai cars are known to be very soft, and steering somehow has some amount of feel. Yeah, in the center head position, I can feel some amount of feel, but yes, it still is a Hyundai car at the end of the day. So the feel is much better than other Hyundai cars, but when compared to other cars in the segment, it's not that great, especially when you compare to the EcoSport or even the Tata Nexon, for example. The steering just doesn't offer much feel or feedback as such. Body roll is very well contained though, and I want to talk a little bit about the suspension because I believe the ride quality is good, but because of the stiffness over bad roads, it does rattle the car. However, because of the stiffness at higher speeds, it remains quite stable. That said, at higher pace, if you happen to encounter a bad patch of road like expansion joints, they can be felt a bit inside the cabin. I really like the gearbox. It's smooth shifting. I actually like the manual more than the DCT, although the DCT is very nice and obviously tech fest, but there's nothing like a stick shift and changing gears yourself. Now the good thing is that Hyundai actually decided to offer a turbo petrol, the state-of-the-art GDI unit with the Venue, because the engines from the i20 just don't have the oomph, you know. Especially the diesel was a bit of a disappointment for me, and I'm a person who just cannot dislike any diesel engine. I'm such a diesel head, but I did not like the one in the Venue diesel. It simply did not have the punch, but this one is really very nice. In fact, if you're planning to buy a Venue, this is the engine you should opt for. Yes, fuel economy will be on the lower side. It will return you between 9 to 13 kilometers per liter depending on your driving style, but once you rev the nuts out of the motor, obviously it's going to drink a lot more fuel. The brakes also offer for its stopping power, and there's no nosedive as such under heavy braking, even though the suspension does have some amount of play, that is to offer a good ride quality in spite of the stiffness. And the other good thing is that the overall insulation from the outside is very brilliant. In fact, the suspension is not noisy at all, and it does a great job of insulating the cabin from the outside world. In terms of high-speed stability, it remains stable at higher speeds without any issue whatsoever. And this petrol engine is actually available in 3 or 4 variants. It's not available in the base trim because there you get the 1.2 liter naturally aspirated motor. This turbo petrol unit actually commands a premium over the naturally aspirated unit, of course, for multiple reasons. This car I'm driving is priced at 12.5 lakh rupees. The range actually starts from 9.95 lakhs, which is the base price of the turbo petrol engine with any gearbox. Actually, the entry-level gearbox happens to be the manual, the 6-speed manual. The DCT is slightly more expensive, but the difference is not much. It's around rupees 50,000 only. In fact, the price difference between this and the top-end diesel is also around rupees 50,000. But again, you know, Hyundai does not offer the automatic in the top spectrum, disappointingly. So how does it compare with the EcoSport? Definitely, the EcoSport is better in a lot of ways. However, the Venue being fresher with a lot more features as well is certainly going to attract those who are looking for something which is connected with the connected car features. Although in order to turn on the vehicle you need an automatic, not a manual. That simply does not work. Here we are revving the motor. It revs nicely, and off we go. it rocks ahead actually sometimes, but you know, it doesn't push you back into the seat at all. So guys, this is my review of the Hyundai Venue Turbo Petrol Manual, and as I see it, this is actually the variant to buy and the engine to opt for in the Venue. A brilliant car, definitely one of the best Hyundai cars in terms of ride and handling balance, and a lot of features as well. However, if I had to nitpick, I would say that yes, space could have been better at the rear and the steering could have offered more feel and feedback as well. If you like this video, you know what you have to do. Give it the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye. Band kariyo.